Neil, following the fallout from this 28-minute video that backers of Newt Gingrich's super PAC have put up, it's called "What Happened When Mitt Romney Came to Town," and how much damage is this Bain connection, you think, Neil, doing to his campaign?
You know, so far the signs are really that it's likely to do more damage to Newt Gingrich and Rick Perry in a lot of ways. There's a feeling of a sort of blowback here, at least among, more kind of establishment Republicans. There's going to be a bunch of prominent Republicans that come out for Mitt Romney today and endorse him, partly because there's a sort of protective feeling of wanting to protect the presumed frontrunner at the moment. It's going to be interesting, though, to see whether this whole line resonates among less well-off Republicans here. This is a more economically difficult straits, going on here than was the case in Iowa or New Hampshire. So they're kind of going for the populist argument, hoping that somehow it resonates. Generally, the difficulty, though, is if you're campaigning negatively in your campaign events, which is what Rick Perry in particular is doing, I don't know if that moves people in your direction. It may move them away from Mitt Romney, but I don't know if it moves them toward you.
Yeah.
I think, it's interesting, and I wrote about this today, too. I think there certainly is, when Neil talks about establishment Republicans, we're talking about what I call type A Republicans. They pretty much are in power in Washington, but I think there are type B Republicans out there
that group, yeah.
who haven't made up their minds, at least, about private equity's role in this in our economy.
And it's pretty fascinating to be having this discussion where people are starting to understand what it is and the importance of it and whether it's vulture capitalism or venture capitalism.
Right, and as we get close to the general election, of course the Democrats are going to be using this. And so we're going to have a national debate about it, which I kind of find exciting, covering Wall Street. I think that's interesting. But I think Neil hits on it. I think there is some desperation in the Perry and Gingrich camps. But I will say this morning I saw on Fox News, just walking in, we saw Rudy Giuliani and John McCain defending Romney's record.
Well, exactly. And Neil, that's what's so interesting is you're now, some are saying, seeing this play where you might step back and say, why is it that his own party is attacking Mitt Romney so vehemently right now? Well, it's turned out to sort of make the GOP defend him, some of the establishment that David's talking about. And I guess the real question here, especially as we head towards South Carolina, is whether voters will feel differently.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be particularly salient going into the general election. I just think it's really worth dwelling on and pointing out the obvious, which is still amazing. We may have the first private sector nominee for president in our lifetime, really the first in history, if you look at what he's all about. And he's not Lee Iacocca. He's not somebody who ran a car company or ran some manufacturer. He's a guy that comes from one of the more controversial, maybe slightly sketchy areas of American capitalism. And he's going to have to explain it, defend it, and make people feel comfortable about it because it's at the core of what Mitt Romney is. It is his, others have war experience, others have governing experience. He primarily, 80% of what he is Bain Capital. So there's going to be a lot of conversation about this all the way through the spring and summer, and he's going to have a lot of splaining to do, as they say.
And he's kind of struggled, it seems, Neil, to figure out how to sell this, how much to defend himself and how much to try and back away from some of the accusations. Do you see or expect the tone of the Romney campaign to change as more and more people focus on this?
Yeah, they have a strategy. I mean, they're going to be coming out with a Bain ad. There's various ways that, they're going to do their best, and I think they'll probably do a pretty good job of explaining it and putting the emphasis on, the companies like Staples that he created that everybody knows and that continue to last and have done well. But, the reality is still will linger, and this goes to, the core of his biography, that he is still running for president as a person who did put people out of work and make a lot of money by putting people out of work.